Welcome to Regents International School here in Pattaya. Now I'm back here again because schooling is an important part of an expat family's decision making. It is, after all, your child's education you're talking about. Now Regents International offers boarding options, and it's not something I'm that familiar with. Well, apart from the fact that Harry Potter went to Hogwarts and it led to somewhat of a renaissance for British boarding. Anyway, I'm here today to meet Peter Gillmore, head of boarding, to find out more. Hi. So boarding school, it's much more than a Harry Potter fictional story, isn't it?
Well, we don't play Quidditch, but we do have access to all the facilities that the school provides. So we've got all the sports facilities, music, art and many more, which I'll talk about later. But there are many similarities. Our boarders will make friendships for life. Just like Harry Potter, they have a real sense of loyalty to the school. If you talk to the students, I'm sure they'll often say it's their second family, it's their second home. So there are similarities, as there is in all boarding schools, but obviously there are clear differences as well.
So what is boarding in the simplest term?
We provide a home-from-home experience. And once again, as Woody said, it very much is their second family and their second home. We try and make our boarding houses as homely as possible, and we provide the same facilities that they would want at home. So they'll have things like high-speed Wi-Fi, they've got pool tables, they've got kitchen facilities, and they've got comfy seating areas for when they have their free time in the evenings.
So you mentioned words like homely and family. How do kids cope with being away from their parents?
I'm always amazed how well they adjust into boarding, and I think that's partly down to the fact that they've got peers around them that have all experienced that same feeling of moving into a boarding community. We also have a huge network of staff, very experienced boarding staff that have worked in other boarding schools and been doing it for a number of years. And here we also have a large number of gap staff. So they are very much seen as big brothers, big sisters, and they'll often help and guide and there to listen to the students as well. So they've got a huge network, and it's always amazing. It's very quick they adjust into boarding.
Okay, so the children are here 24/7. So when school finishes, what do they do, extracurricular activities? What do they do in their leisure time?
Well, they'll have the school activities directly after school, and then they'll come back to house. And when they come back to house, they will have, they'll meet the staff, we'll discuss how their day's been, just like you would at home. We provide them with snacks, so they particularly don't like days when it's sushi. It could be cakes on another day. And then they will go to their prep sessions, which is their homework, and they'll do that until between 5 and 6 o'clock. And that's where that will be structured prep, and that might be with specialist teachers coming in and working with them on particular subjects, so to help them improve their grades. From that, they will then go into dinner in what we call the basement, which is our school canteen. And then after dinner, they will have a range of activities. These activities will go from 7 till 9 o'clock, and that will include sport. So we've got access to the gym, the Astro, the sports hall, the swimming pool. These are all staff supervised activities. Some will choose to go to music and use the practice rooms. Some will work in small ensemble groups. They will also have access to the art rooms, which is fantastic because it's a brand new facility which a lot of students are making the most of, both those that are doing it at GCSE and IB level, but also younger students that just want to go and create. And we also have activities going on in the house. So there'll be cookery, there will be filmmaking, there is board games, so there's a numerous activities. There's something for everybody, and many will do 2 activities each night of the week.
Wow. It sounds like with all this extra activity they can do, how does a boarding school student compare to a regular student? Do they outperform them as a result?
Often we've, certainly in the vast majority of boarding schools that is definitely the case because of that structured prep session. We also find because many boarders are international, their English quickly improves as well because they're immersed into the language, and all their communication, whether it's through an activity or in prep, is in English, which a number of other students won't be getting if they're returning back to their families and speaking their mother tongue. So with all the additional prep sessions that they have, even this week we're starting additional prep sessions for year 11 and year 13 in their important exam years, so they will have an additional prep session in the evening so we can make sure they reach their potential.
So you mentioned that some of the students are international, and I'm sure some come from Thailand as well.
Sure.
So what are the reasons that parents choose to send their kids to a boarding school?
I'd like to think it wasn't necessarily just the parents' decision. I think in this day and age, it's often the decision of the student that they wish to go to a boarding school because they can see the benefits as well. So I always like to think it's maybe a family decision and they haven't been sort of sent here by their parents. And there's many reasons. A number of children choose boarding because it gives them the structure and the routine that they think is going to help them, and we know it certainly does from experience. But there are many other reasons. We have parents that often travel and are away a lot of the time, and they want that stability for their child. If they're moving contracts every 2 years, it means they can have that stability. We've also heard that some parents say that actually their relationship is improved as a result of their child becoming a boarder, because all the battles that you may have at home to do with homework, that's all being done at school. So when they do meet at weekends or in the holidays, they have real quality time, and they would actually spoken about improved relationships.
Final question then. So what qualities does a boarding student develop that a regular student may not?
I would say the main difference is they become more independent. They have a level of self-discipline. We notice when we take students on year trips, it's the boarders that seem to know to be at the right place at the right time, because they have a number of trips and activities through the week, and they know the importance of timekeeping. They have that level of self-discipline. They also seem to be, what I mentioned before, they have a different type of friendship group, and a much closer friendship group in many cases, where and friendships that appear to last a long time, and when our ex-boarders come back, they instantly feel comfortable in that environment. I would also say that they are also strong in the presence of adults. They are used to talking to adults because they've got boarding staff around them all the time, and I think they become very caring as a result.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm joined by Savo and Paulina, who are both boarding at Regents International. What's it like boarding here?
It's a lot like staying at home, and initially obviously you don't feel it, but as you stay here longer, for me it was just like a couple weeks, and it felt like I was right at home, because you're surrounded by people who really over time they grow to be like family.
So Paulina, you've been here 4 years boarding.
Yeah, I did.
What's the biggest benefits for you?
I mean, mostly it's like the support you're getting from teachers, from the people who live right next to you. Because like at first when I came here, I didn't really have anyone to talk to, but as time progressed, everyone felt like, I don't want to be cliche, but like family, I guess, because you know everyone's habits. You kind of like, I don't know, you walk into the common room and you kind of like expect a certain person to be eating noodles or something. So it becomes very like, well, like Sarva said, very comfortable and oriented. And as well, since we're living on school campus, there are like always teachers present, so if we need any academic support, we can like achieve it. And we can also will like go to Central on Fridays and everything to like actually keep it social with people who don't live at school. So it's like all provided for us, I guess, and it's also like, again, like a type of a family, like a big family where you just can ask anything, you can get support, you can like hug people and just like talk if you have like any problems. So it's like very, comfortable.
So would you say that there's a clear difference between during the day when you're at school, between when school finishes and you go to your boarding quarters? Did it change mentally for you?
Not really. I mean, I guess, yeah, obviously you snap out of that whole I'm in school mindset because you're home, you're a lot more relaxed. But you go back home and it's like, okay, school's over, but if I need to go talk to my teachers or if I need any kind of support from anyone, they're always there, which necessarily you wouldn't have if you were at home living half an hour away. So I wouldn't say there's a drastic change in mindset, aside from the fact that obviously you're home, so you're a little more relaxed.
Okay, and my last question for both of you. So, living away from home in a boarding school, what strengths and qualities do you think it's given you as a person?
it's made me a lot more independent, that's for sure. But also I think it's helped me be better around people, around large groups of people. It's made me better and it's kind of, well, I wouldn't say it's made me better at doing this, but it's kind of made me want to go out and talk to people a lot more and find out who they are and make new friends. And because over here, when you first come in, you're new and you don't know anyone, but you just make friends so naturally. And by the end of like your first half term here, you go on vacation with a group of friends that you just didn't have 3 months ago, and it comes very easily. And that's just something that I think it's a quality that boarding kind of instills in you in a way. Yeah, so I think it's made me much more of an outgoing person than I was when I first came here. Yeah.
Okay, and yourself very quickly?
Well, it kind of made me aware of people's habits and like to be able to deal with like some annoying things, like someone not cleaning the sink or something. You can like come to terms with it because that's life. So it kind of like teaches you those types of skills to like be able to be, well, to be more accepting to like people's habits and also to be able to like actually talk to people. Because I was a huge introvert when I first came at school and now I'm just like talking to everyone. So it's like...
Okay, thank you very much and good luck with your exams.